Westfield River School. We are in the library today, which is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning.
And full of books.
Yes. Yes. So my co-host today, Susan Dargy, Chris Rogers will be here shortly. He's on his way. But just even getting in here today, it has that new school smell to it. It's really, you know what I'm talking about? It's just everything smells new. It's terrific, right, Tammy? Can you?
I don't know. I don't smell it anymore.
Because you've been in here quite a bit. So.
But yes, I agree with you.
Now, what do we have with us today, Susan? Take us away. Here we go.
Well, we have our world-famous favorite architect from Kalo and Beanick, Bert Gardner.
Yeah.
And Tammy Taft, the woman who just made this all happen.
Well,
City purchaser?
Yep. Chief
Director
Procurement Officer, Project Manager
wait.
for Construction.
Okay.
That's okay, yep.
You wear many hats.
I do.
And we appreciate all the hats that you wear. And so it's amazing to be in here. It's amazing to be broadcasting from here. We have students, of course, from our Graphic Arts and Communications Department that are running the cameras today, too. Is there an echo? Do you guys hear an echo from us or anything, I wonder? It's such a big space, and it's beautiful. And the sunlight that comes in, I'm sorry, I'm a little overwhelmed. But before we get going, I want to remind people that Tiger's Pride Restaurant is open today from 10:45 to 12:15. And their menu is they have their warm spinach salad, which is baby spinach with boiled egg, bacon, red onion, mushrooms, and Swiss cheese finished with a warm garlic Dijon bacon dressing. And for those of you that don't know, the students at Tiger's Pride make our own salad dressing. So everything is from scratch. The entrees today, they have creamy shrimp and grits, which is sauteed shrimp with garlic, bacon, onions, peppers, and a touch of cream served over creamy white corn grits, and eggplant lasagna, which is breaded fried eggplant cutlets layered with a marinara sauce, ricotta, and mozzarella cheeses, served with a petite salad and a choice of dressing. And they have two sandwich specials today. They have the corned beef Reuben, which is self-explanatory, and that's always delicious. And then they have a breakfast sandwich today special, 2 fried eggs with a sausage patty, arugula, and cheddar cheese on a grilled roll, served with fruit salad and sriracha mayonnaise. For more information, please call 564-3123, and we hope to see you at lunch today. Thank you for supporting our students.
Wow,
That menu sounded really good.
It did, I know.
Yeah, really good.
And just another reminder, tomorrow is our last day before the holiday break. And so students will be off this year. It's a particularly long break, I think, from Monday, December 23rd, and they don't come back till Thursday, January 2nd. But if you're a student at Abner and Franklin now, you will be a student here at Westfield River Elementary School, and you will not start until Monday, January 6th. So I thought that was a great segue right here into where we are. So the project is what % complete? Because we're opening on January 6th. What, are we 100? Is that about there?
We'll say 99.9.
99.9. Okay, I mean, we're sitting in this beautiful new furniture. When you walk through the halls, it just looks terrific. I mean, because I came in through the side door. Did you do the same?
No, yes, and walked along the river.
The river, right. So the floors have a river to it. But, you know, in terms of projects, Bert, and you've built many schools, right? So how did this one go?
It went very well. I think that right from the design, the city had a really clear vision of what they wanted for the school, which always helps us.
Right.
And then getting Fontaine, they do a ton of schools too, construction-wise, and they really just have a good system down. So it moved very quickly, and happy to say it's ready for you guys to move in.
Ready for us to move in. Tammy, this isn't your first project, but is it your first school?
It is my first full school.
Full school.
So I worked on the WTA when we did the roofs and the boilers and all that. So, but my first full school, and this one has been it's been fun, stressful at times, but no, it's fun to see something go from a vision to rectangles on a piece of paper to conceptual drawings to actually seeing it like this. And when you look at the conceptual drawings that Bert and his team had done, this looks pretty much exactly like the conceptual drawing. So to see that vision, and those visions started over Zoom, if you remember.
I do. You know, we were planning during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to see it come to life like this is amazing. And every time I come into the building, something different has changed. You know, something has either been delivered and we get to see what the space is really going to look like, to something being finished, such as, you know, the globes that you see here in the media center. And then you'll actually see that in the STEM lab too, has the same globe. So it's tying the two spaces together. To see all of that is it's just amazing.
Well, the color scheme, whoever did that, Susan, did a nice job. I'm just throwing that out there. You know,
got a
Susan was on the
great
building
design
committee
team.
too, right? So, and Chris Rogers is here. Come on in, and we were just talking about the progress and how well this project went, and in terms of. Again, there was some stress, there always is.
Always is.
But I know every time I drive by, I smile a little bit. You have to, right? I mean, and Tammy, an incredible amount of work on your part. So you have to smile.
I
when you
do,
drive by.
I do smile. Maybe not so much when I'm lugging a box from one end to
Oh,
the
yeah,
school
right.
together, because it's a long walk.
It's a big school.
It
Yeah,
is.
There's going to be 400 students here. So, I mean, that's a lot.
401, I think Jill told me.
Yeah, we're up there.
401.
And Principal Phelan, and I don't know that she's watching, but I do want to give her a shout out
she's
too.
great.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
She's been
Absolutely amazing.
particularly good to work with as well. So if I were to ask, what is cool about this school, besides everything? What are some cool features? I mean, you know, someone just said, you know, the way the stage is set up with the gym and the cafeteria.
That was
it's
my
like-
first thought.
Yeah, that's cool, the way it's set up. But anything else stand out that?
So for me, it's art and music. If you will I'll walk you through, but the floors in both art and music have a motif to them. So you see the river as it flows through the school itself, but when you get into art and music, the theme in there is all about what is going to happen in that classroom. So art has a color wheel inlaid into the floor. And so to me, it's really bringing every little bits of design into that space. And then when you get to music, you have a music staff on the floor. So
Yes.
to see those two spaces and to have the acoustic panels in music all the way into the practice room, it's just those types of spaces that I guess just don't see. You know, I didn't grow up when I was in elementary school with them. So
no.
to see those spaces and to understand that those kids are going to be able to experience something in its own classroom is just, those are the amazing spaces to me.
I think all the shared spaces, when I think about our other elementary schools, we have a media center in all of our schools, but a media center like this is just special, and the innovation lab
That's behind us.
That's
really.
behind us,
is
yeah.
Next to-
something that we had envisioned, and to see that come to life and be able to use that now as the model to transform our old technology labs, that class, into what we really want to have happen in that STEM space is
Well,
exciting.
think about it, when even when I first started as superintendent, you had to take your kids to a computer lab, right?
Absolutely.
If you wanted to do something with technology, and now that's all within the classrooms,
Right.
you know? So education has changed, and this building obviously
Reflects that.
reflects
Yeah,
that too.
personifies that.
Absolutely, which is awesome. Bert, anything stand out to you that you want to share? I mean, you've designed many schools, so what about this one is unique?
I would tag on to Tammy's comment about the music room. It's probably my favorite room in the building, just because of the larger windows, a little bit
Right.
higher ceilings, the view out to the courtyard's really nice, I think. But the extended learning spaces that we've got throughout the school, and some of the specialty features, like your self-care nook in the classroom, just making sure there's space for every student that comes here to feel comfortable and be able to, you know, achieve their best in the building, I think is what I like.
Can I have another one?
You can? No.
Building as teacher, the things that were designed with the education of students in connection to the curriculum in mind. I'm thinking of the recycling.
Oh, yeah, the recycling center,
And
yep.
the outside, we have the pollinator garden and the human sundial.
And we've got some displays for how the PV is going to work in the building too. In the innovation lab, we've got a readout
Oh,
on the
right.
monitor that will kind of tell what the building's producing in terms of energy. And that's also tied to some of the other utilities, like your water usage in the building.
Right.
So that's all sub-metered and can be used in the curriculum.
That is
So-
that is
That's-
awesome.
That is
That is
very
awesome.
cool.
From a maintenance perspective, Mr. Rogers.
Are you sure you want me to answer this question?
Well, yeah.
What do you think, Mrs. Teff? Do you think I had to
A
like?
little too many windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, who has that job? But it's going to be easier to maintain, I think, than some of our older buildings just the way it was designed.
Well,
right?
I think the biggest advantage for us is summer cleaning, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to be waxing, stripping floors like we are pretty much everywhere else. So, so there's that piece of it. But you know, truth be told, you know, we're bringing a really talented maintenance staff from 2 buildings over into 1. But this building combined is bigger than Abner and Franklin combined, right? So
Really?
I think, oh yeah,
Oh.
oh yeah. So we
I knew
are
that.
right.
Like square footage wise.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's 2 stories, but okay.
Yeah. So
There's more to clean.
So for us, there's the balance, right? There's more to maintain, but at certain times of the year there should be a little bit less for us to do. So and again,
Maybe it'll balance off, right?
well, what we're going to find out is, like, we're going to find out with everything in this school, is that within a couple of months, we're going to know the building better. We're going to know the ins and the outs of everything better. Like, we know right away when the first day of school happens on January 6th. We have a nice plan for the buses to arrive. We have
Right.
a nice plan for drop off in the morning, and then reality is going to happen, right? So I think that's kind of how it's going to be with everything for the first couple of months. So there's no different for maintenance and security. It's going to be, all right, this is what we're going in with, this is our game plan, but okay, now we're going to start to tweak, like we would do anywhere else with any situation.
Well, and so you mentioned security, and this building is built with that in mind as well, too. So can we talk about the entryway for a second? What is unique about that? It's different than our other schools, right?
Sure. So most schools back from when I was growing up, and the rest of us, I'm sure, you kind of come in the front door and you find your way to the office. You know,
your office is
you're in the
not right
building
there.
as soon as you come in the door. Here we've got the a vestibule that is a man lock, actually. So if the outside door is open, the inside doors to your vestibule cannot be open.
Correct.
Until that outside door
Wow.
closes. And that's to keep people from kind of piggybacking on. And getting into the building who weren't buzzed in. The only way to open the outside doors is through a video intercom system. It doesn't really sound like that.
What is that? Is that
They're testing.
Testing
out.
out
They're
the
testing
system.
today.
that's what it's going to, okay, so like to make an announcement or something.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
So
They're in the office right now.
Okay, right.
Well, that's all right. Not to interrupt Bert, but remember when I was here last week for that meeting, somebody played music for about 20 minutes, and it was unbelievable. No, I'm serious. Like, you know how sometimes we play music in a school, like,
Yeah.
But the
You could hear it
acoustics here, I mean, you could hear it everywhere. You know, it was incredible. Sorry, Bert.
no, that's okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you get buzzed into the vestibule, then you have to be led into the office, actually, to state your business, and that's the only way to get into the building, really. And that vestibule is also bullet resistant. Just
Yes.
not something we like to talk about, but it's a reality today.
It is a reality.
And so it's a hardened vestibule. Parents just dropping off a lunch, there's no need for them to come all the way into the office. We have a pass-through box in the vestibule that they can put their packages or homework or whatever it is that was left behind. So that they can just drop that off and be on their way without actually coming in.
Well, and you know, I was thinking too, the elementary school that I attended is no longer standing. Anyone else can say that? Or
Mine is standing.
Mine
it is still standing? So mine was about as the same, maybe older than Abner Gibbs. And it was the same
mine was
kind of like the wood floors, they were beautiful and everything
Nice.
else. But, you know, schools have a lifespan. And so what is the projected lifespan
Great
of this
question.
place?
So we designed the schools for 50 years.
50.
50 years.
Okay.
Yep. We know they're going to get used longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
But
They typically, yeah, they
But
typically
that's
do.
that's the number that the state requires us to design the schools for.
Okay. And I think just being in here, you know it's going to last probably longer than that. And I think it's safe to say it will last a lot longer than we will.
Yes.
Just putting that out there. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Our first song, all right, so remember the drill. We play 4 songs. They're all in the top 100 Billboard of a specific year. So we're looking for a specific year, and our first song is number 7 of the year that we're looking for. Are we good, Pete? All right, take us away.
Well, we got no choice. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut shops of Westfield and the Sardina family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And welcome back to Superintendent Spotlight. It's 9:21. We are fortunate today to be broadcasting live from the new Westfield River Elementary School, which will combine both Abner Gibbs and Franklin Avenue schools. Just what a terrific space. If you missed our first segment, we're broadcasting live here from the Library/Media Center. There are already books in here, and again, this will be ready for January 6th. So we're on time.
We are.
We are on
Yep.
time. That's a question we often get asked. Is it on time? In fact, I think I forwarded that. I don't know. Jessica Mahalski from Western Mass News asked me about, is the project on time? So we are looking tentatively to schedule a ribbon cutting ceremony and an open house type event on January 18th at 11, but don't quote me on that just yet. We are waiting for confirmation from the MSBA, who helped us build this project, and that is the Mass School Building Authority. And for those that don't know, they do help districts like ours build schools with a particular reimbursement rate. And so the full cost of the school will not fall on the taxpayers of Westfield, which is what the organization was created for at that particular time. So when we left, we were talking about safety and security, and before that, we're talking about cool features of this school.
Sure.
And there are so many. But another question is, what's next? I mean, the project isn't done.
No, it's not. So this is
Right? There's more to do.
No, it's not. Yes. So this is obviously phase 1 of the project. Phase 2 will be the taking down of the current school and then building out all of the play spaces that are out there.
Okay.
And as Bert's teams were, integral in designing all of that, Bert, if you want to kind of go through, what are those really cool learning spaces, play spaces, because that was important to the team, was having some learning environments out there. And I think you guys brought that.
Yeah, I think that the landscaping incorporates a lot of outdoor kind of gathering spaces for informal classroom settings, and then we've got one covered structure outside that provides some protection from the sun or the rain, that you could have outdoor classrooms there too. The pre-K kindergarten playground is already completed in the courtyard, but behind the school, to come this spring and summer, we'll be building the new first grade through fourth grade playground.
Okay.
It's incorporation of natural and structured equipment out there, similar to the one we've got for the preschool. We've also got basketball courts, foursquare, handball.
Yep.
As Susan mentioned, we've got pollinator gardens outside. We've got actually raised garden beds for a gardening program if the school wants to pursue that. There's an amphitheater that's way out towards the back property line.
Wow.
For outdoor performances. So
That's awesome.
just a lot of features. And then we've got a large open green space that'll fit a couple soccer fields and a softball field.
Which is amazing.
That is
That's
terrific.
amazing.
And this is really a community school. I mean, granted, it is for students from Franklin and Abner, but when we put this together, right, Susan, we wanted to make sure it could be also utilized by the community.
Right, and even thinking about conference room, meeting spaces, what if there were to be meetings of the community here, what would they need
Right.
versus
I
what
mean, the
we
classroom
need for
spaces are
school.
really, you have to, you don't get to access them right away, right? I mean, there's a ways to get there. That's what it was designed.
The building was designed with a layout that allows kind of the public to come in and use things like the media center, the cafeteria, the gym, without having access to any of the classroom
Correct.
wings. So
I think one of my favorite parts is the bridge still, where you get to look into the gym from the second floor.
Yeah, it's
So
nice.
if people are playing a game, you can just look up there from up there too. This is one of my favorite things. I don't know, you don't see that
Yeah.
too often. At least in the schools I've been in, you don't really see that.
No.
And we worked with amazing design team that, when I think about that space and you're saying the bridge, walking over and looking in, and the colors that were chosen to represent the bridges and the river, and just how everything tied in together.
Well, look at the color. I don't know if you can see the colors behind us through the camera, but there's a lot of color in this school.
So each one of those represents a wing within the school. So the school is set up by color. So each wing represents a color. So pre-KK is yellow, first grade is green, fourth grade is a purple hue. And so when you walk throughout the space, you will see those colors kind of converging in the areas that you will have everybody. So when you get down to the cafeteria, where the hand washing station is, all of those colors come in
together.
together. So that's really cool.
How about
And
that we have a
morning,
hand
Kevin.
washing
I
station
know,
in
it's
the...
amazing.
Kevin's here if we want
Bruce.
to.
All right, Kevin, come on in.
Hey,
Have
Kevin.
Grab a seat. And Tammy, who is Kevin?
So Kevin is with Fontaine Brothers. He was our project superintendent when we first started. He is so good, he got pulled to another job by request of the company that was building it. So he happened to be here today, and we wouldn't be where we are without Kevin. So, he was one of the ones that, made sure that everything
Whoops.
ran on time, all of the subs report to him. He keeps everything rolling here. So to actually be able to have him come and talk about, when they first were digging in the ground to put the foundations, that was part of all of his stuff. So to have him be able to come on and talk about, our project and how it relates maybe to other projects he's done, obviously ours are the best.
Of course.
And when you talk about, what's unique about the school, not one of you said me, Just
So we
kidding.
have two superintendents at the table right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go. And a very important,
Yeah.
special, and unique Tammy Teft. So
Once
Kevin,
a
can you talk to us a little bit about, have you seen this? I mean, is this
No,
the
this
first?
is the first time I've been here since the school's open, so to speak. And,
In September, yeah?
Yeah, and it's really nice to see the final product, and the superintendent that took over has done a fantastic job bringing it across the finish line. It's a beautiful building.
Oh my gosh, it's
Cato
beautiful.
and Bienick designed a beautiful, beautiful building. Really
Absolutely.
unique. I love the different levels and the roofs, and just the contrast of the brick and the canopy. Everything just come together very nicely.
We were saying before, when Tammy and I drive by, anyway, we smile every time we drive by. How does this project compare to other projects you've worked on?
Well, they're all unique in their own way.
Sure. Absolutely.
So they're all challenging. It's tough on a daily basis to keep everybody in line and in check, and sometimes we call it adult daycare.
What were some of the biggest challenges?
Keeping a mason rolling here, so to meet the schedule, keeping him, keeping the heat going, keeping the flow where they're moving to different elevations, the temporary heat. That's the biggest
Oh, I remember
challenge.
walking through and seeing
That's
that,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, keeping the water out of the building, that was a big challenge
yes.
also. That's probably one of the biggest challenges is the heat, and during the winter, keeping the heat and keeping the water out of the building.
But all the foundation work was done before.
That's correct.
Right? So
Yeah.
it was done during the warmer months.
Yes.
Because you kind of have to, I think,
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
Were there any issues with that? I mean, did everything go smoothly from?
Yeah, I mean, the foundation, the concrete subcontractor did a great job. The flow went very well. There was really no hiccups in that at all. They did a great job and just kept moving.
Kept moving.
Yeah,
I mean, every
kept
time I
moving.
drove by, I couldn't believe the progress. And I do remember, too, before the brick went up, people thought we were building a pink school.
Yeah, we heard that a few
Which
times.
we did not do.
Yeah, we heard that a few times.
Yeah. What is that called, by the way, on the outside?
It's the weather barrier.
Weather
Weather
barrier.
barrier.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
And I think
so-
it's traditionally pink for a lot of places, or no?
No, not
Or you
necessarily.
see like on houses, Tyvek.
Tyvek,
You see
yeah.
that? So it's the same function. It's a different product that we used on this building, but it's the same function. Yeah.
So during the height of it, Kevin, how many people at one point were on here? How many tradespeople were? Because I mean, there was a couple of times you were.
We
quite
had
up there.
about, it averaged around 80 people. It was up, 90 at one time. So the electrician had a big part of the project. They had a lot of, probably had 20 guys at one time here.
Just
to
doing the
keep
wiring,
things flowing.
right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, they had a big part of it. So some of the other trades, they don't need a lot of manpower as long as they keep moving, keep moving in the direction we need them to. So
Speaking of electricians.
Speaking, I was going to say, it's
Speaking of
okay,
electricians.
keep working. We don't want to get in anybody's way, right? In terms of the time frame, I feel like this building went up quickly, and I don't know if it's because time goes by faster as we age. I'm not sure. But I feel like this building was up pretty quick, right?
No, but we never slowed down.
Right,
There was
didn't stop.
never, it wasn't like we took a winter break. It wasn't like there was a slow, they busted through every single month. There was.
yeah, we felt we were ahead of schedule the whole time.
Yeah.
I felt that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's really a commendation to a lot of people, but keeping things on track. So you think we're ready to open in January 6th?
Well, walking through the building, it looks pretty good. There shouldn't be any reason why we're not ready to open. Hopefully the town's happy, and
I think the feedback when the families came through, Tammy, they were very impressed. I think you know that.
They were, that probably was the highlight.
I
You
bet.
know, we talk about, the stress and the go and the go and the go and, walking boxes around to rooms. That night, the 2 nights that I was here with the principal, inviting the families in, that was really the culmination of all of that work. Being able to see a kid give me 3 thumbs up. He's going, I got 3, and I'm like, well, you got 2.
Yeah.
We can use the 3rd. Or a parent just walking in the building, and it was like, awe-inspiring. That really kind of
Right.
made it, and to really, be excited to have the kids experience the building as it's intended.
To be excited for the kids to be in school is pretty good too. Although elementary kids for sure are typically excited, but I think we're going to have pretty good excitement.
Yeah.
It's a pretty high attendance rates too.
I think so.
anticipate, right?
I think so.
As our attendants are over here.
Well, and Abner and Franklin are doing a nice job this year with that to begin with.
To begin with.
And I think once they come over here, they're going to want to be here every day.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree. So Kevin, is there anything in the project you want to share with the townspeople? You said you hope they're happy, and I'm telling you that I think they are. But is there anything you wanted to share with them from your perspective as you started this from ground up?
Ground
literally?
up.
Yeah.
I want to thank the team. I think the team did a great job. you know, there's not really much to say. I mean, you can walk around and see it for yourself.
Speaks for itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another successful project with Fontaine and Kalo and Beanick. Just a success.
I can tell you that I'm pleased to, along the way, as we went through the selection process of who we were going to work with. And I love that we picked 2 local companies that have such great reputations. And I think you certainly, I think, exceeded our expectations of what we were going to have. So I want to thank you both for that.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take our next break. Now, listen, the last song was actually number 76 on the year we were looking for. It got played out of order, and that was School's Out by Alice Cooper. And we all remember that one? All right, this next one is actually number 7, and we'll be back after the break.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear,
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Noble Hospital, a brand new name for a Westfield institution which is improving the health of our community every day with quality and compassion. Noble Hospital and Bay State Health, better together.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And welcome back to Superintendent Spotlight. It is 9:38 and we are broadcasting live from Westfield River Elementary School's Library and Media Center. And for students today at Abner Gibbs and Franklin Ave, they actually get out early today at 12:15, today and tomorrow.
And tomorrow.
Yes.
And this is to help our teachers facilitate the move. You know,
Right.
moving during the middle of a school year is a challenge, folks.
Yeah, we
It is-
acknowledge that,
yeah,
totally.
But
It
I think
wasn't our choice to do it
No,
in
Right.
the
it
middle
was
of a
not the
school
choice.
year, but
But I think we're doing it
It's
well.
happening,
Yeah,
yes,
as best as you
yes.
can, given the circumstances of a move in the middle of the year.
And
right?
you had mentioned that the district, we do have a long winter break this year, 12 days,
It's
I
the
think it
longest it
is.
can be.
And then the
Every 7
Franklin
years.
Avenue and Abner Gibbs actually have 14 days off.
Right, they don't go back to the
But
6th.
those aren't freebies because
Right.
they actually started school
A day early.
They
a
did.
day early in August, and they're coming to school on March 14th when everybody else
Is off.
has the day off.
Right.
So they'll be here for half
everybody's
days.
So
doing
by the time
180
we get to the end of
days.
June, we're good.
We're caught back up even.
The time
Yes.
is made up. So, Tammy, what's left before now and between now and January 6th?
And what's a punch list?
Yeah, what's a
I
punch
s-
list?
I still
We go
don't
through the
know
punch
that.
list, right?
It
So-
depends on the day what a punch list.
Yeah, that's very fair.
I will let Bert speak to the punch list
Okay.
because I keep adding things to it, so you know they're not overly. Well, Bert likes me. I don't think anyone else does. So I'll let Bert speak to the punch list. But you know, from my standpoint, what we've got left is I do have a couple of deliveries actually still coming.
Well, this morning you said
So
cafeteria.
yep, we just took
furniture.
possession of cafeteria. I still have some medical nurses' office supplies coming. I have a fairly large order coming from school specialty. So I do have some stuff still coming into the building. I still have some maintenance stuff coming in. We will be moving the copiers into the building tomorrow, and those will get set up. On the 27th, we will start at Abner and start picking up all of the contents that we are bringing here, which is primarily boxes, which would be the school, the teachers' teaching supplies and all that.
They've packed.
Curriculum.
That's what
Oh,
they're
yeah.
working on now.
They're packed,
Yep,
work- yeah, they're
that's what they're
finishing up.
working on now. I think we've outlaid something like 1,100 boxes.
Wow.
And they-
So
Which,
Have
by the way,
needing
can I
more.
throw a plug in there that when we are done, we're going to need those for later on in the year. So
You can have 'em.
I want them all.
You
Yeah,
can
we know
have them. You can have them. But yeah, so we will be on the 27th, starting at 8 a.m., picking up the stuff at Abner. I'm going to do a walkthrough tomorrow with the school personnel to see if we can stage the boxes in a way that the movers can come right in. The quicker I get those movers in and out, we might be able to move both schools. But the cutover day for Franklin is technically the 30th to bring all their contents and boxes over here. And then that would roll into the 2nd and 3rd for the teachers to start setting up their classrooms.
Right.
We have tried to buy and have things staged here to help with facilitating the move from their cars if they are bringing in stuff. The movers will be delivering boxes to each classroom, so part of the teacher's responsibility was putting on tags that had their name and room number, trying to make it as easy as possible because nobody likes the move process at all, let's be real.
Moving's tough.
Moving's very tough.
Whether you've done it personally or professionally, it's still tough.
Yeah, and
It's
then
not fun.
No, not at all. So we are trying. Our goal ultimately is try to assist as much as we possibly can. And then on the 6th is the most exciting day of the year, and that will be when the kids actually get to walk in for the first time and get to their actual classrooms.
I can't even believe what the excitement is going to be that first day. It is probably, I mean, the energy, I'm
I just
sure
want to
it's-
sit on the stairs and watch.
That's kind of what I think we're going to do, actually.
That's what we're
Watch.
planning on doing.
That's what we're planning on doing. And just being here for, again, the first day, there's going to be some hiccups. I mean,
yeah.
that's just the way it goes. But I think that, looking forward to it. I really am, right?
Very much.
So, Susan, as someone who was on the design team, really, with when we did that, is this what you envisioned when we were in that planning process?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's amazing.
It's hard to imagine, you know. I mean, Tammy was talking earlier about paper. We saw the squares, you know, and
Right.
we did the visioning, and it really does look like the model that was sent out
It
to us
does.
back then. But I think it meets all of it,
Yes.
probably more than meets. This is an exceeds expectations project, I think.
Definitely.
Bert, I want to thank you for
exceeds.
that, for this planning process. And
Exemplary.
I think of all the other schools you worked on, this is the best one. But I am
Oh, by far.
okay. Perfect. Tammy, would you agree?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, you know, once the school is open, you will be tearing down that other school. How is that going to affect this school? Is it?
I think the biggest impact it's going to have, like the whole phase 2 construction piece of this project, is going to have the biggest impact, like the limited outdoor
Yeah, right.
space for the school to use.
Right.
The kids have to get outside.
Right.
We all know that.
We all do, by the way. not
Right,
just the
and
kids.
we're kind of limited to, you know, either the parking lot, which would require a lot of logistics to make sure
Yes.
traffic's not coming through. So really, the safe area is in your courtyard, which is really designed for the earlier years, the kindergarten and
Right.
pre-kindergarten, and then there's the space between that side of the building and the fence to the neighbor's
Yes.
property.
Well, yeah.
And that'll be the biggest challenge, I think,
I agree.
for the school, is just where to find space for the kids outside.
Well, you know, I fully expected to hear more, to be fair, complaints about this project happening while while the school was happening at Franklin Avenue Elementary School. And really, I think there were a few.
We
but
had some challenges.
We did, but by and large, I think it could have been a lot worse with that, right? I mean, anytime you're doing a project simultaneous with someone, when people are in school, you know, I remember back in the day I was teaching when the new comprehensive high school in Chicopee was built. It was right across the driveway from me, but we still did what we had to do, right? So they're still going to get to do what they need to do.
Yeah, they'll come in from Franklin Avenue now, the construction crews, so you'll still have that separation that we've maintained, you know, in
Right.
phase 1. That'll continue through phase 2. There'll be some noise, but, you know, it won't be too bad. I don't think it's all earthwork, so, you know.
Right.
There is a really amazing historical connection that I didn't become aware of until we did the community walkthrough days in November. I met a woman who came to walk through Franklin Avenue. We had everyone sign in on a guest book and write their connection to the school if they had one. And some people were just from the community and wanted to see the building, and that was great too. And this woman was in Franklin Street School in 1947.
Wow.
So the original building, and she talked about moving in to the new school
Back then.
in
then,
1955, I believe, right? And then they watched, or maybe it was 50. They watched the old school come down.
Get them out.
So it's the exact same process in reverse, returning to Franklin
Just
Street.
75 years or so later.
Right. I might have gotten, I'm thinking she said 47, but when did we move in? When did that?
1955 is what I have on record, but I don't know if. did we
So
move in?
maybe she was there 47 to 55. You know, that's probably what it was, because if she started there in kindergarten,
Right.
that school went up, I think, to 5th or 6th.
I think it was 6th at the
Yeah.
time.
At that time?
I do.
Yes, back when it
Because educational grade configurations change periodically. I mean, even now, look at us, right? We have a
Yes.
5-6 school and a 7-8 school, and that's relatively new too.
Right.
Used to have, the middle school model was 6 to 8 or
Right.
even 5 to 8 for some places too.
right.
So very exciting stuff. All right, it is now 9:47, so we're going to take our third break here, our third song. This one is number 48 on the year that we're looking for, on the year we're looking for.
Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising. Higher, higher, it's burning through to my soul. Girl, 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 you gonna set me on fire. My brain is flaming, I don't know
radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And welcome back to Superintendent Spotlight. All right, so that was Burnin' Love by Elvis Presley, number 48. So the three songs we've heard so far are School's Out, Alice Cooper, number 76, Lean on Me by Bill Withers, number 7, and then Burnin' Love, Elvis Presley, number 48. And the last song we'll go out with, which you won't hear, is The Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr., number 5. I think everyone knows that song.
5.
So if we're going to guess, I'm going to start with Chris today. Yeah, if you had to throw out a guess, and you're all dancing around it, by the way. I heard you talking here. I didn't say a word, you'll notice, because I try not to give it away. What's your guess?
The only year I have in my head is 1972. The only year I have in my head.
That was mine too. But
Tammy, you going with 72?
That was what I was going to say.
Bert?
that was in my head, but I'll go with the year I was born, 71.
71.
Yeah.
Susan, what's the answer?
I actually didn't look.
Oh, well then, you want to guess?
73.
73, which is the year I was born, Bert, so you're 2 years older than that. So, and he falls right after that, 74.
Is that the answer?
It's 72.
Oh.
Tammy and Chris, good job. So there you go. Tammy said to us, I'm really horrible at this, which you did, but you nailed it. And
It was that
I
last
threw in
song.
some songs. It was the last
It was
one?
the
Last
lot
one
when
that did it?
Yeah.
Well, because I think that was, to be fair, that was Elvis's last #1 hit in 1972. And then he died in 75 years later, right? So, but you know, when we were on break, so thank you all for playing our little game, but when we went on break, all the lights went out. And I was like, what is that? So what is that about?
So it's an energy conservation thing. It's built into the energy code now that all the lights in buildings, you don't use switches anymore because they get left on and burn unnecessary electricity. So everything's on sensors now. So there's vacancy sensors and there's occupancy sensors in the building, and they basically do the same thing. They'll shut the lights off if they don't think anyone's in the room, right?
No one's in the room.
Right.
That's for the whole building?
That's for the whole building.
So there's not a light switch in the place?
There's light
there's
switches
some
in the place,
switches,
and
yeah.
there's switches in all the classrooms, and they basically control.
If they want to turn it
The,
off.
Right, they can
you can
control or
manually shut them off.
Yeah, because you can't tell the whole class to stay still, so the light shut off.
Right. and
Right, exactly.
That would be pretty. That would be
You
challenging.
try.
You can try, but good luck with that.
So.
Oh, that's cool. So this building is designed to save energy, as you alluded to before. But in reality, it will probably be less expensive for us to operate this building than it was to operate the previous two. Is that a fair statement? Although it's twice the size of both of them.
It's
so I mean,
twice the
that's
size, and the thing that doesn't get back, it would be if you were apples to apples, but those buildings didn't have air
They
conditioning.
didn't have AC.
They didn't have the same technology loads that this building's got. A lot more technology built into it. So it
I'll tell ya.
probably won't be less, but
comparable.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now that the students and Mr. Rogers, who was formerly the principal at Abner, and Susan, who used to be at Franklin as well, I think they can both tell you the air conditioning will be so appreciated in this building because Abner Gibbs it was hot.
Well, when you get up to the 3rd floor at Abner on a day in September or June, you're hitting 90s. Tough place.
Tough
to be.
place.
In fact, we used to do air conditioning breaks because when I had an air conditioner in my office as the principal. I promise I did walkthroughs on that.
Yeah.
Okay, but we would actually have classes come into my office
And rotate out.
rotate in and out because it was brutal.
Wow.
You know.
And Franklin, I remember we had a building committee meeting there one day when the sun was hitting in that
Yes.
classroom.
It
Do
was
you remember
hot,
that, Tammy?
yes, yes.
And I remember Bert, and I'm sitting there, and the sweat is actually just coming down my
Right.
forehead, and I was just like, this is brutal. Like if you're on the sun side of that building, you're getting You're kidding. So the air conditioning will be very much appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
The heat system, what are we set at? Is there a temperature set? I mean, is it, like, what is the normal temperature setting for school?
I think it's probably set at 72.
Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
72
I think it's
for
probably
cooling
set at
and
72.
heating?
For both, yeah.
So 72 is pretty
That's why
comfortable.
you picked those songs for
Yeah,
that.
1972. Yes.
I knew there was a
There's a
connection.
connection.
There we go.
I mean, listen, I don't keep my house at 72. I'll be honest with you. You're coming to my house, bring a sweater. Oil's expensive, but so how do we heat this building?
It's electric.
Everything's electric.
Yep, so the heat here is all electric. The only fossil fuels that we have in the building are gas for your kitchen appliances and the hot water.
And the hot water. Let's talk about the kitchen because it's state of the art. It is beautiful. I saw Rachel Caney yesterday, our director of food services, and I know that she is very happy with the kitchen. What is? I mean, it looks terrific, right? It can rapidly cook. Like, what is special?
Oh
about
yeah,
the
it's
kitchen?
a full-service kitchen, full-service commercial kitchen. This one for this school in particular is upsized a little bit from what the MSBA guidelines tell us to do, but it's because we could make the case that this district is kind of in a high-needs district here, and that you do a breakfast and lunch program, and that it's I think it's 100% free lunch here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Free breakfast and free lunch for everyone.
Right.
For everyone, but those two schools are at 95% accessing that.
I was going to say,
Where
yeah.
other schools might not have as many students coming for breakfast or getting hot lunch, but yes, it
Right.
will be well used.
But that was
kitchen will be-
definitely a conversation that we had during design with MSBA
Yeah.
to kind of justify why
That's a lot
we
of
needed
cooking.
Yes.
more space in the kitchen. Yeah.
And the cafeteria holds how many?
Oh boy, you got 400 kids, 3 lunches, so
The CAF is, I don't,
160 maybe.
no, the cafeteria, capacity-wise, I think is 351, 352.
That one?
So,
like that,
so,
yeah.
but not for lunch. That would be the occupancy
That's the
number.
occupancy,
That's the
yeah.
occupancy number, and that's if you had an event like a dance or
Dance or
something in there. We
something,
could
right,
have that
right,
many
right,
students in
But
there.
that's
But to
not with
sit
the
for lunch,
ladybug tables
but to
and-
sit
Oh,
for
no.
lunch.
Well, it's the same in the gym, right? The occupancy in the gym is like 500 people, but that's if you had,
Right. Same
Events
thing in
with-
the gym.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
kids don't really go to dances anymore, so
No.
that's an our age kind of thing.
Oh, that's sad.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And Rachel will be cooking for the teachers on the 2nd and 3rd, so they will actually be preparing lunch
nice.
out of the kitchen on the 2nd
well,
and 3rd. So
but
that's
that's good because that,
Yep.
that gives them the opportunity
Yep.
to practice and use the
Yeah.
equipment too. That's their dry run.
Oh yeah, and they're excited. They've been through
Yeah.
and they've got some pieces of equipment in there that they don't have at some of the other schools. So they are extremely
We might
excited
have
about
to
what's
go
in
for
there.
lunch.
You might have to come for lunch
Yeah.
too. I know. We'll be here. And the cafeteria and the stage area, that was designed so that we could actually have performances and you could have people on both sides, right?
Right,
So,
both sides.
you know, and whereas you at our our newest elementary schools besides this one are Munger Hill and Paper Mill, and they were built in 1991, the year I graduated from high school, by the way. I mean, this is our first new school in this district in 25 years. Because the last one was North Middle at the
Middle.
time, which is now Westfield Intermediate School.
Right.
So very exciting to have this new building. Really very excited to have it. So any last minute thoughts we want to share with our folks? We want to, any last minute thank yous? I want to shout out Shannon Berry because I know she's
Yes.
been a big help
Yes.
to you.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
And you with this project too, and I want to, of course, Susan has been involved in this since the get-go. I know Deb Ecker had a lot of input with special education. Rachel had a lot of input with the kitchen
Yeah.
too. And anyone I'm missing on the
Well,
city
it
side
really
too?
was a community.
It really was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Brian
every
Ferret.
person, Brian
Brian
Ferret,
Ferret.
Carissa in the
Right.
building
Carissa,
office,
Lisi.
fire, police, all of them.
Right.
Because it's such a huge project and everybody is so excited about it. Any phone calls we make to get assistance, we have it. And shout out to Chris and his teams.
Well, I want to shout out Brian Sabadosa too. I
Yeah.
mean, we wouldn't have paper towel dispensers hanging.
He's
through.
he's through
No, I'm being
today.
very serious.
Yeah, he's through
the-
today.
The amount, like, people don't realize the amount of background stuff that has to be done to open a school building. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's mind-boggling, but it's almost.
He was
almost
doing
there.
soap yesterday, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Soap too? Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
we need that.
I just like too that there's a wash station in the cafeteria. So that means kids don't have to leave to go to the bathroom to wash their hands. They can do it right there, right? That's
Yeah.
terrific. But the stage piece, so at Munger Hill and Paper Mill, They actually have a wall in between the cafeteria and that is actually movable, so they are able to open this space. So I think both, but the problem is if in those situations, if you're in the back where the gym side is, you're in the way back. You're like, can I have my binoculars to see the stage? Here, you're not going to have any problem. So, you know, I think that the performances here are going to be awesome, and I hope that we use this space to its maximum for both the community and the schools.
I believe we already have building use forms in the
You do, all right.
I was going to say, every meeting, where are we going to meet? Westfield River will be open. Everyone.
Well, and that who knows,
them.
maybe summer school here too,
Right.
Well, if you have the air conditioning.
In the classroom space, it's natural and logical.
It is. All right, folks, it is now 10 o'clock on the dot. We are done today. Next week is December 26th, we will not be here, but Bobby G and company are doing a special holiday show, and that will air. And then January 2nd, we actually won't have, we're going to be airing a show that is a superintendent spotlight on the Mark with Mark Auerbach combo with our early college students and Kristen Bancuso. So it aired on the Mark a few weeks ago. It's going to air for us. And then we're back January 9th, and we actually have Kara LaValle. She's our criminal justice instructor at Westfield High School. She's bringing some students because it's National Law Enforcement Day.
Perfect.
And then January 16th, so December 5th, we had a 2-hour delay, so we had to cancel our show, which was unfortunate. And we scheduled, that was Walt Disney Day, actually. And so now we're doing a makeup because the Westfield High School Chorus was supposed to be on that show. And they learned some Disney songs, and I don't want to lose that, right? So they have to do Disney. And everybody loves Disney. You can celebrate Disney every day, right? And I think, and even Culinary was going to make us Mickey Mouse churros, so we're going to get that too. So we're going to do Disney. But folks, thanks for watching. We hope you have a great holiday season. And don't be surprised if you see an inch of snow on the ground tomorrow morning.
Could be possible.
That is supposed to happen tomorrow.
Could be possible.
So drive safely. But happy holidays, and we'll see you in 2025. Thank you to both of you for being our great guests today. And we'll see you in a few weeks.
Who can take a sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it with chocolate and a miracle or two. Candyman, oh the Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Oh, who can take a rainbow, wrap it in a sign, soak it in the sun and make a ruby lemon pie. The Candyman, oh the Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. The Candyman makes everything he bakes satisfying and delicious. Talking about your childhood wishes, you can even eat the dishes. The dishes. Oh, who can take tomorrow? Who can take tomorrow? Dip it in a dream. Dip it in a dream. Separate the sorrow and collect up all the cream. The Candyman. The Candyman. Oh, the Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Oh, the Candyman makes everything he bakes satisfying and delicious. Talking about your childhood wishes, why you can even eat the dishes.